The Star Wars KOTOR Remake has been a long time coming. We've been covering this for years, but I want to cut through all the years of nonsense in one sentence. The KOTOR Remake is not dead, but the version most people think that was announced back in 2021, I don't think that's the version that we're actually waiting on anymore. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Today we're going to cover everything we know about KOTOR, the remake. Is it happening? When are we going to get it? We're going to go over all the latest news, the rumors, leaks, everything. In the public record, it now points to an Aspire-led build that hit serious trouble. So then there was a handoff and then years of silence, and then Saber slowly confirming, yes, this thing is still alive. So what is actually officially confirmed right now? It's simple. 2021 PlayStation announcement said there was a ground-up remake with modern visuals and features while keeping the integrity of the original story and the characters. Then in 2024, Saber boss Matthew Card said the project was alive and well. And then this year, Tim Willits gave the most brutally short update possible. Yes, it is still in development. That's the current floor. The game exists. Anything beyond that, well, it's hard to kind of sort out, and it kind of sucks. Tim's just like blunt and raw. Nobody could give us anything else. Give us little breadcrumbs to hold on to, but there's a path here. Let's talk about the disaster phase first. Bloomberg's 2022 reporting said Aspire's project hit a wall after a vertical slice shown to Sony and Lucasfilm did not land the way management wanted it. I always wonder, who's management? Who's up there in the suits in Sony that get to determine whether or not this classic legacy remake of Star Wars fandom is gonna hit? I really, that bothers me, because I almost guarantee you that whoever made those decisions is not a fan of Star Wars, probably isn't a fan of video games. They're a fan of shareholders and stock prices and charts and graphs. I really feel that way. Anyway, then Embracer put out that carefully worded earnings statement saying one of its AAA games has been moved to another studio inside the company to hit the quality bar. They didn't come out and say this is KOTOR, but later reporting in executive comments made it pretty obvious to us that it was. That was a moment this stopped being a straightforward remake, and it kind of turned into a rescue operation. And here's the thing that changed the conversation for me and a lot of people. The court doc reporting from late 2025. Steven Totilo's reporting tied the remake to Madhead Games working with Saber. Now, those were the same legal materials. Also showed Lucasfilm had KOTOR 2 remake plans on the roadmap as recently as March of last year. So that matters because it actually tells us two things. One, the remake pipeline is real. Two, this thing was being managed under a much broader long-term KOTOR strategy than fans realized. Not just KOTOR 1, but KOTOR 2. It also tells us something else. Disney and Lucasfilm approval, well, it matters. Those same court docs from the KOTOR 2 Switch DLC mess show just how quickly legal and rights issues can derail even content that's already being marketed. So when Karch reportedly said Disney is taking the reins on discussion around the remake, I really believe him. This isn't a project where Saber gets to just free-will updates whenever it wants, and that probably goes back to why we get such short, just non-emotional updates, because Disney's got their thumb on it. Now, we've got Disney in the mix. What about Sony? Publicly, hardly anything. Sony's biggest statement in the last few years was basically, we removed the trailer because of music licensing. That was it. There was no timing with it, no platform refresh. They didn't give us any clarification on whether the original reveal deal still works the same way after all the studio chaos we just talked about. There are rumors that Sony backed away, but there's no public confirmation of that from Sony itself. So I'm not going to present that as fact. I would say it's a pretty credible question. So now let's talk about the part that everybody actually cares about. The game, right? When would this thing actually be coming out? Well, officially, there is no release window right now. Unofficially, but credibly, the strongest current clue is Steve Allison's authenticated comment that Saber's 2028 lineup hopefully includes KOTOR. Saber then told PC Gamer that this should not be read as an official release target, so no, 2028 is not confirmed either. But yes, 2028 is absolutely, to me, the most realistic target on the board right now. If you're betting on 2027, or if there's some Kalshi prediction markets, I mean, you're betting on a pretty aggressive re-reveal and marketing timeline starting very, very soon as of the making of this video. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd go that far. For me, I'm landing on 2028 right now. Now, technically, We don't have hardly anything official. No engine announcement, no combat model, no save transfer plan, none of it. We don't have a definitive modern platform slate. We don't have reconfirmed anything. The one, I guess, smart thing is that Madhead is deeply involved. Unreal, it's a good bet, right? Because their public careers page says they build in Unreal, and they're working on an unannounced AAA game in a beloved IP. So beloved, Star Wars. Unannounced AAA, KOTOR. They build their things in the Unreal Engine. So I'm going to take that as my facts. It's not a studio statement about KOTOR specifically, but come on. Let's connect the dots here. That's got to be KOTOR, right? And as for the scope, I think the only thing standing from the original official pitch that we talked about way back in 2021 is modernize the package, right? Preserve the soul and legacy of KOTOR. How do you do that and also modernize it, not take away, but make the quality of life better? Whenever we talk about remakes and remasters, that's one of the biggest debates that goes on in the comment section. I read every single comment on every single video, is how do you keep the legacy magic, but also make it work in 2026 or 2027 or whenever it comes out? Well, easy things are better visuals, better cinematics, the pacing being smoother, maybe some level of combat modernization, but you have to be careful. A lot of these older games and their combat loops are special because they were kind of janky. But right now, there's no hard evidence yet that the remake has even gone full action RPG. There's no hard evidence that says it's staying fully true to the old pause and queue structure either. I find it really hard to believe that that would happen, but we don't have anything. So whoever is saying certain either way, they're probably making it up a little bit. I mean, that's kind of what goes into the trust, right? That's the bigger problem. In 2021, this was a dream project. We were all super excited. 2023 kind of became a meme. 2026 now. It's in this weird middle gray space where most serious people believe it's real, again, myself included, but nobody wants to emotionally commit until they actually see gameplay. And that means the next reveal, I mean, it has to do way more than Tim coming out and saying, yeah, we're still in development. It has to prove the current version is coherent, modern, that it's worth reviving one of the most loved RPGs ever made. So I guess my final take is how I started. KOTOR, the remake, is alive. Saber is saying that it's alive. The legal doc trail says that there is real infrastructure behind this thing, but we have no proper re-reveal. So to me, it's still a project that is defined more by I guess, just things floating around in the air than actual momentum. I feel like if they had momentum, they would be marketing that momentum, right? So best case realistic target for me is 2028. Earliest believable surprise target for me would be late 2027. I just need, I just gameplay, platforms, combat details, proof of life, please. Proof of life other than just the short words. That's where I'm at. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you soon.